At the top of the world, on a frozen island the ice kept ships from reaching, a young woman who had never hunted in her life was about to be left completely alone. Everyone sent to keep her alive was already gone. She was a seamstress, and somehow she would outlast four experienced men. In 1921, a small expedition set out for Wrangel Island, a remote, uninhabited place in the Arctic Ocean north of Siberia. The plan was to claim the island, live off the land, and wait for a supply ship the following year. The team was four young men and one Iñupiaq woman, 23-year-old Ada Blackjack, hired as their cook and seamstress. Ada had never wanted adventure. She joined for one reason: to earn money to treat her young son, who was sick with tuberculosis. When the men were dropped on the island, they were confident. They had guns, supplies, and experience. But the next summer, in 1922, the supply ship could not get through. The sea ice never opened, and it was forced to turn back. On the island, the food ran low, and a second long winter closed in. By January 1923, it was desperate. Three of the men set out to walk for help across the frozen sea toward Siberia, more than 100 kilometers over shifting ice. They left Ada behind to care for the fourth man, Lorne Knight, who was too sick to travel. The three men stepped out onto the ice and were never seen again. Knight was dying of scurvy. For months, Ada nursed him, fed him, and kept him warm, with no medicine and no way to call for help. In June, he died, and then there was no one. Just Ada, the empty huts, and a small cat named Victoria. Now everything was on her. A woman who had been afraid of guns, afraid of polar bears, with no training to survive a place like this. So she taught herself. She learned to set traps for foxes, to shoot, to take what food she could from the land, a little at a time. She kept the fire going. She kept a diary. And when polar bears came near the camp, she found the nerve to drive them off. Through the freezing weeks that followed, completely alone, she did the one thing she had promised herself she would do. She stayed alive. On the 19th of August, 1923, a ship finally broke through to the island. Its crew found her in a hut, asleep, with her cat curled beside her. In all, Ada had survived about 2 years on Wrangel Island, the final months entirely on her own, the only living soul for hundreds of frozen miles. She had outlived four experienced men, not because she was the strongest, but because she refused to stop for the sake of a child waiting back home. Ada used what she earned to take her son to a doctor, but she was paid almost nothing for what she had endured, and the world quickly forgot her name. For decades, she was just a footnote in someone else's expedition. Only much later was she recognized for what she truly was, the one who survived. A seamstress, alone at the top of the world, who walked into the impossible and walked back out.